while the pandemic changed so many things, it allowed PanCAN a chance to really almost reimagine ourselves. Pre-pandemic, PanCAN PurpleStride was doing 60 walks a year, all throughout the year, different weekends. We had a heavy spring season and a heavy fall season, and things were going really well. The pandemic hit. We went virtual, like a lot of other folks. And while we pivoted really well and we put out great virtual resources and fundraising toolkits and we tried to keep people engaged and everything, we were still on that hamster wheel of events. As we started to emerge from the pandemic, I was approached by some executive members at PanCAN, and they just said, what do you think about this idea if we were to go to all of our events on one day? And so we just started talking through it. We just went through the process of what would be the advantages, what would be the pros, what would be the disadvantages and the cons, what's our risk, what's the reward that we could get out of it. And at the end of probably a couple months long processes, we decided to move all of our events to one date. And the hardest part was our fall events for that season had already launched, the websites. And so we had to go back to those volunteers and the communities and say, we know your websites are launched and we know that the date is set for November 4th, but we're actually going to move everything to next April. But we did it. A lot of communication, a lot of change management, a lot of training, a lot of talking, a lot of one-on-ones. And we moved everything to April 30th of 2022 and had all events on one day. And we're still standing and growing. There's growth in our national sponsorships. One thing we thought was, let's go to our corporate partners, our pharma industry, our healthcare industry, and regional partners, and show them, hey, it's going to be more bang for your buck. You're going to get more exposure because now at a national level, it's really hard to go out from a national organization and try to advertise 60 events on different dates. But on a national level, we can do a marketing push, right? We can go out and go on TV, go on radio, go on Spotify, go on Pandora, go to these places and say, no matter where you're at in your community on April 29th, join us. Another one of the rewards that we were looking at was a celebrity ambassador, going to them and saying, will you partner with us? Again, that national marketing. Our first year, Mindy Kaling came on board. She lost her mother to pancreatic cancer. And last year, she was our celebrity ambassador the whole time. We built her into our fundraising tips, our emails, our socials. She attended our event in LA. And I think that was because we had this single campaign that made sense. And so part of the sponsorship is that we grew our national sponsorship by about $250,000. Still tons of opportunity there, but we're growing. And so it's our highest ranking ever, which is great. It is not our highest gross revenue of ever. That was pre-pandemic, right? When we had 93,000 participants. I think we're having a challenge, just like everybody else, of getting participants back. We had about 55,000 participants back, so 55-60% of our participants back. But when you look at some of the things, especially some of the things that we put as our rewards, like could this grow certain areas of PurpleStride, we did grow. So if you look at our participant fundraising, we grew by a little over $1 million with 55-60% of the participants. Our loss in gross revenue was, at the same time, we also got rid of registration fees. And so we lost over $2 million in reg fees. But we believe that there's long-term growth. That, again, one of those risk-reward type moves that we just did it all at once.